to TWIG. Welcome to TWIG, your weekly, geekly, family-friendly news show that tackles everything from the spring season of anime to Among Us getting its cast with some games in between. If you're listening on the podcast version of the show, be sure to give us a good review. Click that like if you're over on YouTube, or come on listen live on Twitch every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, like so many cool people are doing here right now. Folks, we're going to be starting, as always, with our What Have You Been Watching and Playing and Reading? And we are going to kick it to our special guest for today to start us off by introducing themselves and also telling us what have they been watching, what have they been playing, what have they been reading. Take it away, my friend.
Hey y'all, I'm Trombone Dalek, also known as T-Bone and Grace and many other names. I have not been watching much lately. I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire and greatly enjoying it. I started doing that like most weekdays. And then I finished In the Lives of Puppets and cried at the end of it. And I also have been reading Mountain in the Sea. So plug for the Checkpoint Book Club there.
There you go. Yeah, the Checkpoint Book Club reads a book every single month. We play a game every single month over the Button Bash Brigade. We have got things. If you are somebody that doesn't know what to play or read and wants to do it in community, then there you go. That is the way to get plugged in. I am watching anime and Shogun and all the sort of fun stuff there. But then I also was considering writing a sermon after the Oscars on the movie Poor Things, because it kind of swept the Oscars. And so I was like, maybe I need to understand more about this movie and give it a shot and see if a nerdy sermon could come out of this. No, it can't. It cannot. I'm not going to be writing a nerdy sermon about Poor Things. Could it? It could. Will I? I won't. That's sort of the situation that I landed on with the end of that movie. I still can't decide if I liked it. H-Man specifically asked me over in the Discord, did you like it? And I don't know if that's the word I would use. It was a masterpiece. There's no doubt about that. Aesthetically, it was incredible. The things they did really took me aback, but I'm just not sure if like is the word I would use. I've been playing 2 games. Speaking of Button Bash Brigade, I have finally caught up on last month's game, Planet of Lana. I am in the back half of that game, I hope. I am really done with it. It's not a bad game by any means, but it is boring. It is longer than it needs to be, and it's kind of hold the stick right and solve the puzzle and then hold the stick right again. So it's a little bit underwhelming, but in all fairness, I think that Inside, which it's very clearly like inspired by, and I think one of the devs was even on that team. So like it's clear the inspiration, but in order to be inspired, you got to have a good story. The thing about Inside was that it was weird as all get out. Planet of Lana is kind of predictable. Like I haven't really been too impressed with any of it. So we'll see if that changes by the time I get to the end of it. And then I've also been playing Unicorn Overlord. I'm probably about 20 hours into that. It's the latest Fire Emblem-like from Vanillaware. I'm enjoying it well enough. I will say the story is a bit vanilla. It's not too exciting, pretty generic there as well, but I really like the crunchiness. I like playing the actual like characters and building them out, and that's been fun so far, but I don't know. So there's like 5 regions. There's the tutorial and then 4 after that. And I'm on the second of 4. So I'm technically like at most I'm at the like 50% part of the game. So I'm a bit overwhelmed at this point with it. And then I've been reading Legends and Lattes, which is one that I wish I had not put on my back burner for so long. I've always heard it. I've heard it mentioned whenever I've talked about Coffee Talk and things like that. And D&D, any of those things are mentioned. People are like, you should read Legends and Lattes. And I was like, I don't know. And I finally gave it a shot, and I'm so glad that I did. What a fun book and a great read. It reminds me a lot of the Monk and the Robot series with the style of writing, maybe a little bit less heady than those, but and a little bit less intense in a lot of ways too. It's like if Monk and the Robot decided to write a even younger young adult story, and it's pretty good stuff. So yeah, let's take a look at the chat, see what other people are playing. Eat the Boots is playing or reading Holy Hot Mess by MKB. Just finished it. Now reading her other book. Who Espino says not much, maybe Lethal Company. Very nice. Perry just finished up binging Heavenly Delusion anime. Heavenly Delusion! You finished it so quick. And you're also picking back up the Blue Period manga. Very nice. Eat the Boot says, I am now rewatching the Big Bang Theory. I'm going to guess Big Bang Theory for like the 192nd time. Mochi Bean says binging Apothecary Diaries is so good. I have not gotten yet to the end because I'm watching just the dub for Apothecary, but I'm so into it. I'm really enjoying the story.
manga for Apothecary Diaries, and I'm like, I need more. I'm just waiting for the next one to come out, and I've already talked to the librarian about it, and she's like, yep, this is when like we're ordering it. Like, I don't know when it's gonna be in, but I'll let you know as soon as I can, so you can be like, right, one of the first people to grab it, because I can finish it in like one sitting while I'm at the library.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. It's such a good watch, and I imagine a good read as well. So I'm a big fan. Eat the Boots also is playing Clash of Clans. Sneaky is watching Shogun, reading Iron Flame, playing Helldivers 2. Let's see, anything else? Zeri says, I've been battling depression for a month. Now I try reading more devotionals, watch Woody and Kleiny clips to make me laugh, skipping everything else till I recover. It's important to have those boundaries and those things that can help us with self-care and mental health and spiritual health and any of those kind of things. So that's wonderful to hear. Role Professor, I assume you're talking about Poor Things, because I think we've had this conversation. Yeah. I don't know if I liked it. It was good, but I didn't like it. Sugar Haiku is watching Yu Yu Hakusho. Are you talking about the live action, or are you watching the OG anime? Because big difference for me there. Reading Mao and playing the Super Mario RPG. Humar Whithill says, don't you love holding the stick right in games? You know, you'd think, but I don't know. I guess if I'm going to hold the stick right, it's going to have to be a really good story. And this one just isn't. I don't know. It's very atmospheric. I will say one thing about Planet of Lana is, holy smokes, the music. Wow. Like did not have to go that hard for the soundtrack at all. The only thing I can compare it to, and this may be don't set the bar too high here, but it definitely is inspired by OG Star Wars. You can really pick up on the horns and the whistles and the orchestral feel that they were going for with the OG Star Wars. So I'm not going to say it's like as good as, but you can definitely pick up on the inspiration, and it is phenomenal. Let's see. Sugar Haiku says Unicorn Overlord is definitely one I want to play. If you like Fire Emblem, you're going to love it. And the OG anime, very, very nice. All right. Well, with that, any other thoughts on these before we get into our trending headlines for tonight, Trombone?
I just want to say Planet of Lana, the best part was like the last section of it.
Oh, good.
With like a race onward, I think, and everything else before that was like lower than it needed to be.
Awesome. Well, then I'm excited, because that should be about where I am. I'm at the like 2.5, 3 hour mark. So hopefully I'm in the back 25% of the game, and it'll be just amazing from here. That would be a wonderful, wonderful thing for me to hear. So maybe I'm encouraged to pick it back up tomorrow and keep going through it.
I'll say it was great. I don't know if I'll say it's amazing.
Yeah. Better than it has been is good enough for me, because I'm enjoying it enough, but I need something to help me through it. And so that should be the pick me up that I need. All right. Well, let's start out by talking about some anime, because I will talk about anime until my head falls off. Spring anime of 2024 has started to drop. Some of the lineups have been released. So we're going to go over just a few of those. So over on the Crunchyroll, I'm just going to scroll through and see if there's any that I note off the top of my head. We're getting a new season of Black Butler on April 13th. If you're into Captain Tsubasa, there is going to be a Captain Tsubasa Jr. season. Case Closed, I guess, is coming back. I don't know what that's about. Data Live 5 is going to be coming out. Of course, we're going to get our holy swath of isekai, and so we're going to have, as a reincarnated aristocrat, I'll use my appraisal skill to rise in the world, and chilling in another world with level 2 super cheat powers. Let's see. God's Games We Play sounds interesting to me, just because I like suspenseful ones. Kaiju number 8 is one that's pretty hyped about for this season of anime, so that should be a good time. Konosuba is getting season 3 coming out this year. Laid Back Camp season 3, I know that's one that people have enjoyed quite a bit. Misfit of Demon King Academy 2 Part 2 is coming out. Mushoku Tensei Jobless Reincarnation season 2 Part 2 is also coming out, so we'll see if this time I end up actually writing a nerdy sermon on that second season. That's it from Crunchyroll that I can tell that's worth mentioning. Nothing interesting, it looks like, that I've heard of anyway, that's coming from High Dive. I am curious about Jellyfish Can't Swim at Night, just because that sounds weird and interesting, and typically High Dive puts out some strange ones. Looking over in the Netflix and Hulu world, you can see our picture down below me. That is Go-Go Loser Ranger. That'll be coming to Hulu April 7th. So if you've not ever heard of that one, it is kind of like The Boys, but with the Power Rangers. So what if the Power Rangers were actually the bad guys? And so that's going to be coming out then. Mission Yozakura Family is a manga that I got last year from, what was it? Monk Spice Cafe, one of those months. And so that one's pretty interesting about a boy that falls in love with a girl from a crime family and has to get involved with the crime family and figure all the things out. And then, of course, we have all of the ones that have yet to get a slot on any streaming platform. They're certainly still coming. They just haven't been announced for any particular streaming platform, but we could certainly guess. Demon Slayer is going to be getting its Hashira training arc. Girls Band Cry is coming out. My Hero Academia Season 7, of course. The Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 3 is coming out, and that's pretty much all that I see. So if we missed any of your favorite anime, let me know. But those are some of the exciting ones. What do you think, Trombone?
I was very hyped about that Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, in case nobody noticed. And I'm just very distracted by that now, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, it's amazing how the anime just really sneak up on you.
That was like one of the first ones that recently like really got my attention and got me in after Lay Brotherhood.
Yeah. Well, it was a good one. It's a good one. It's a good isekai, which is not always the easiest thing to find. And so I like those whenever they pop off in a way that's good and healthy and fun and exciting. I did see Minerva hopped on for just a moment in the chat.
Yeah.
Off.
She is currently on my lap at the moment, balancing on my knee.
Hey, that's a great excuse to shout out Trombone, because if you follow Trombone whenever she goes live, then that would be a good idea to go ahead and get those emotes of Minerva. And then you could have used those during that moment. It would have been the perfect time to have used cat emotes. So there you go. Quick shout out for Trombone. Go follow her channel. I know more often you're streaming in the mornings. So for people that are looking for a stream in the morning, there you go.
Yes, I've started like trying to be consistent morning stream, but we will talk more about that later.
Rock on. All right, well, let's take it into the next one. Folks in the chat, do let us know if you have any thoughts about any of those anime, but we're going to get on to our next story.
So Valve has introduced Steam Families, a new feature that's now in beta, designed to enhance the gaming experience for families on its platform. This feature allows account holders to form a Steam family of up to 5 members, offering shared access to games within a shareable library, while granting developers control over game eligibility for sharing. A notable aspect of Steam Families is the accountability for game bans. If one member is banned for cheating, all members lose access to that game. Additionally, Steam Families enhances parental controls, enabling parents to monitor their children's playtime, manage game access, and oversee purchases, including a requirement for adult approval for children's purchases. This consolidation of features aims to simplify game sharing and parental oversight, fostering a more family-friendly gaming environment on Steam.
Yeah, so we wanted to highlight this as a means of, we are aware that we're a community for families. And so if we put on a family-friendly news show, it makes sense for us to share family-related news. And so this is good information for those of you out there that are parents of gamers. This is another great platform, another way that the platform is reaching out and extending an olive branch for the control that a parent can have over the gaming situation and the things that need to be managed. But this is great news. I do think it's interesting, the ban wave, that if they get banned in one game, then the entire family gets banned. That's pretty intense and feels maybe a little bit over the top. But hey, I mean, what better way to teach that lesson, I guess, and to really make it clear that that's not okay. I currently use the Steam family thing with me and Checkpoint. So for Checkpoint's account, I linked it with my personal account, and we're able to share games back and forth in a way that is helpful and beneficial. But I'll have to look in and see the actual family elements that get unlocked by that. For the most part, the sharing of games has been super easy and straightforward, and I think Steam just continues to be one of my favorite platforms out there. All right, well, do let us know in the chat what you think about this. If you are a parent of gamers, I see Perry says that seems pretty dope. I agree. I think Nintendo does a good job with family controls too, and now Steam seems to be following suit. I don't really know much about PlayStation or Xboxes. I imagine Xbox is probably pretty phenomenal, but there's no telling really here or there, but always good to share these kind of things so that you all can be aware of the information as it's coming out. Speaking about breaking information as it's coming out is Minecraft. I know somebody mentioned it earlier as their favorite game. Microsoft has launched the Marketplace Pass, a new monthly subscription service for Minecraft offering Bedrock players access to over 150 content packs from the Minecraft Marketplace for $3.99 a month. This service, which does not affect the ability to play Minecraft as usual for non-subscribers, provides a rotating selection of skin packs, adventure worlds, survival spawns, mashups, texture packs, and more, curated to refresh monthly. Additionally, subscribers receive exclusive character creator items each month, while content from the subscription is accessible across any device supporting Minecraft Bedrock Edition, excluding the Amazon Kindle Fire and Minecraft Java Edition. Once the content rotates out of the subscription catalog, players must purchase it to continue usage. However, any character creator items redeemed remain permanently available, and the service is included with a Realms Plus subscription, further integrating it into the Minecraft ecosystem. So this is interesting. I like to see the low price. I like to see the fact that it is offering more for a game that people love. And I think that odds are it feels a little bit less overbearing compared to the microtransaction based store. If I had to choose between $3.99 a month or just as many costumes as you can buy in a month, I think I would prefer the option of just getting a whole suite of packs delivered to me every single month for a lower price rather than buying everything along the way. Now, I'm also a Minecraft player that has literally never bought anything in the game. So I don't have too much skin in the game as far as that is concerned, but as a parent, if my daughter were to get into Minecraft, sure, why not? I'll throw down for a Minecraft marketplace, just like I would a Disney Plus subscription, over saying, sure, you can buy whatever costumes you want, or feeling like I had to be overbearing and saying, no, you can't buy anything from the store, or you got to use your birthday money, or something like that. This feels like a better way to use this service. And as Perry says, extend the life of it. Because, I mean, Minecraft has lasted a long time, but there's no guarantee it's going to last forever. Any thoughts on this one, Trombone?
It seems like a better than microtransaction option.
Yeah. It's one of those lesser of two evils situations, and so I'll take it, but it is definitely going to be curious. What are the themes of some of the packs, says Royal Professor? I don't know. I don't know if they've announced anything about it. I will say if it's included with Realms, as it says it is, if they continue doing that, we have Realms. We host a Minecraft Realm, so there you go. There's a plug for us. If you don't know, Checkpoint Church does have Checkcraft, our Minecraft Realm that you can access via our Discord, Point Discord in the chat, or discord.gg/checkpointchurch if you're not on our Twitch stream. And you can join that realm and hang out and build in the city there and all that sort of stuff. So it's a cool service. It's a cool subscription in and of itself. And I'm glad to hear that they're not requiring it on top, but instead including it in a part of that. So maybe I'll be able to tell you, Royal Professor, exactly what is available the next time I log in. But
it just says that Microsoft will handpick 150 or more of the best of them to include, and you'll get a new set of character creator items each month.
Yep.
Some will be story-driven, others combat-focused. Some will make you a speedy parkour pro or an unbeatable puzzle master, while others magically make your blocky world look different.
I'm curious to see how many of them, or if any of them, are the commercial ones. You know, are they going to give out the Star Wars pack? Are they going to give out the, what are they going to do as far as the actual like licensed ones? Because if there's a month where they're dropping the Sonic suite, I want that. I want it so bad. So that will be the one that I will hop into real quick.
It depends on what licensing agreements they have.
Right. I'm very curious. Very curious to see where this one continues to go. Again, let us know in the chat if any of them got your attention in particular. I do see Muppets would be amazing. I don't know if the Minecraft and the Muppets have a big overlapping audience, but I think it's about time. Tennille says, I feel like Minecraft is so similar to Lego with endless possibilities that it'll last a good long while. I mean, I agree. And as long as they continue hyping it up as they have been, they are definitely the game that has lasted the longest out of this like style of game. Like I can't think of like, what's the other one? Oh, it's like the 2D platformer one that you're creating worlds in. I can't remember the name of it, but that one, hasn't lasted quite as long. And so there are other games like this out there. I would say Stardew is one that's lasted a good long while, but Minecraft was still before that. And you've got a couple other out there that are those kind of game creators. Terraria, thank you. Yes, Terraria is indeed the one I was referring to, Perry. So we'll see. We'll see if Minecraft continues to be king, or if this is a sign of the end that they're trying to make ends meet, or if they're just excited about the future possibilities. I can't imagine Minecraft going anywhere anytime soon, but who could say? With that, let's talk about a new kid on the block that's actually not very new. Tell us more about this, Trombone.
So Star Citizen, after 12 years in development and amassing $669 million in crowdfunding, Star Citizen is edging closer to its full launch, with Cloud Imperium Games hinting at the upcoming release of version 1.0. A game which has been mirrored in controversy over its prolonged development and financial model is making strides with the integration of features from its narrative companion, Squadron 42. Amid significant organizational changes, including layoffs and a major relocation plan, CIG's chief, Chris Roberts, who will be moving from Los Angeles to Manchester, remains committed to bringing this ambitious space sim to fruition. With no set release date, Star Citizen's journey from a crowdfunding phenomenon to a potential gaming milestone illustrates both the challenges and triumphs of game development on such a vast scale.
So, to be honest, I have never played Star Citizen. I have never been interested in Star Citizen. It does not seem like my kind of game. But I do always see that DJ Soto VR Church is like constantly playing this game. It is clearly his like niche, his interest. I don't know if that's because he found like a audience on Twitch for it or what the deal was, but he is one that has always played this game, and I've always been like, what is that game? And I've heard and every now and again some of the controversy behind it, but it seems interesting that this game has literally been in development for so long. It's received so much funding, and finally is coming out there. I feel like it never gets talked about. So is it gonna release and people are gonna talk about it, or is this pretty much it? This is kind of the like, cool, you did it. You made it to version 1.0. Bye. The same people are gonna play it that have played it so far. I don't have much of a take on this one except for the fact that I just thought it was super interesting.
I don't know anything about it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Is that I think it's so interesting. 12 years, almost $700 million behind this thing. People have funded it and funded it. That's a lot of money to throw at a game and a lot of time to throw at a game. And the only place I've heard of it is of one person who streams it on Twitch all the time. Like, who's playing this game? Who cares about this game? Why has this game been around so long? What is it going to do? Why were people so excited about it to fund it to the tune of almost $700 million? What's going on with Star Citizen? I'm so weirded out by this one from beginning to end, and I will see. We will see. Reminds you of Cyberpunk, only took 20 years. I mean, but Cyberpunk was hype and people were so looking forward to it. And there was so much history to it. And the TTRPG folks were behind it. And they were like, we can't wait until this happens. And the lore and the building and all this stuff. And like, there was so much hype behind it. And like Star Citizen is like, who's talking about it? Who is talking about this 12-year in the making $700 million game? Because it feels like it's one IGN article that talked more about the fact that it was a $700 million game than about the game itself. What's the deal with Star Citizen? Exactly. That's what I'm saying, Perry. I want to understand. I want to understand it, and I don't, and I'm so weirded out by it. So that's my stance on it. Let me know if you have any thoughts on it in the chat, or if you are a Star Citizen diehard, please sell me on this game so that I can understand what's going on with it. But we're going to get into our next news story, which might just be my favorite one of the evening. August, the upcoming Among Us animated series has announced its first wave of voice actors, featuring talents from notable franchises like Lord of the Rings, The Last of Us, and Community. The cast includes Randall Park as Red, the captain of the Skeld, Ashley Johnson as Purple, the chief of security, Yvette Nicole Brown as Orange, the HR manager, and Elijah Wood as Green, the unpaid intern. This series, which draws from the widely popular social deception game that gained massive attention during the pandemic, is being backed by CBS Studios, Inner Sloth, and creator Owen Dennis. With the game's backdrop providing a rich narrative canvas, the show promises to deliver an engaging mix of character dynamics and humor, showcased by a diverse cast embodying characters with unique quirks and roles aboard the Skeld. Fans got a taste of the show's aesthetic with an image release in January featuring the game's iconic cafeteria scene, setting the stage for what's to come in this highly anticipated adaptation. So strange. I love that cast so much. I'm here for every single one of them. I think it's an amazing cast to line up right away.
I just had to let you read it because, for obvious reasons, but it's just, it makes sense, but it's so wild at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's bonkers.
Like,
and I think they're taking it seriously. Like with the cast, it feels like they're taking it seriously. Like this is not just a throwaway show. This is not something that is just being made by somebody that's passionate about it. But instead, this is something that is being taken seriously and being actually produced because they've got real voice actors amidst comedians, amidst Elijah Wood. Why is Elijah Wood there? I want to know. I want to know what's happening. Is he just a big fan of Among Us and his manager was like, I'll get you in Among Us. Come on. I don't know. I think it's so funny. And I love that they have characters behind the different colored characters and that they are hopefully doing a good job. Now, I don't know anything about Owen Dennis. So there's a chance that this show may be a complete flop and is backed by like somebody that was like a key writer on M. Night Shyamalan's Avatar, right? Like there's no telling exactly how this is going to go when it actually comes to fruition, but I'm here for it. And I think it's going to be a good old time. I'm going to watch it. I remember the Cuphead show that came out on Netflix last year. I think they've done another season since then. And like, it was great. Like it wasn't a parody of itself, but instead like actually explored the game and told more of the story and kept the aesthetic and the style. So I'm hopeful that this is going to be a great opportunity for more story or more fun and another reinvigoration of this. And who would have thought that Newgrounds and those indie Flash games would lead to this so many years down the line? Roll Professor says it's going to get Emmy nominated, and Mochi says all the 8-year-olds are quaking. And Perry, Elijah is just doing whatever he wants. I totally agree. He's riding that high and doing whatever he feels like doing. And I'm here for the re-rise of Elijah Wood into Hollywood.
He's just living his best life.
And who wouldn't want that? And we're happy for him to see it. I feel like that's just not a name. That's not a name that I ever anticipated to see. And then like, you know, Ashley Johnson randomly thrown in there as well. So they're getting like classically trained voice actors, and then they're getting the comedians, and it's going to be a great time. I'm looking forward to it, and I look forward to covering more of it as we continue to hear more. With that, our last news story from our trending headlines. This is the PlayStation and Game Pass lineup for the second half of March. Since the last time that we talked about this, there have been more games added to all of the different collections. So the games that have been added to the PlayStation Plus games catalog in February were NBA 2K24 Kobe Bryant, Marvel's Midnight Suns, Resident Evil 3, Lego DC Supervillains, Mystic Pillars Remastered, Blood Bowl 3, Super Neptunia, and Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Perfect timing there. And then there were some other games added to the Classics Games catalog: Jak and Daxter, The Lost Frontier, Cool Borders, God Eater Burst, Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney Trilogy. Another reason for everybody to play Ace Attorney. Please do it. Do it for me. I'll watch you. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All-Star Battle. So those are all the ones that have come to PlayStation, and you could take it away with Xbox. D-Boom.
So for Xbox, a lot of these are game previews. So Lightyear Frontier is a game preview. MLB The Show 24, The Quarry, Evo West, Terra Invictica, Diablo 4, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged, Open Roads, Ark Survival Ascended, F1 23, Super Hot Mind Control Delete. And there are 3 games that are leaving Game Pass on March 31st, which is Hot Wheels Unleashed, Infinite Guitars, and MLB The Show 23.
Yeah, so you can see a couple of those were recycled, like Hot Wheels 2 taking the place of Hot Wheels 1, the MLB The Show 24 taking MLB 23. So a lot of those make a lot of sense. I do think the big one here to highlight is Diablo 4 for people that had not gotten the chance to play that. And for fans of horror games, The Quarry was a game that came out last year, very much in that, oh gosh, I can't remember the name of the game now, but very much in the style of those classic choose your adventure type horror games that are all the rage and that I super enjoy. So if you like those kind of games, and then if you've somehow managed to not play Super Hot, it's coming out in April. So go play. Yeah, Until Dawn. Thank you, Sneaky. Go play Super Hot if you haven't played Super Hot. Great game. Fantastic game. And a classic for me. To Neil, the cool thing about Xbox Game Pass is that you can play it from your phone. It's pretty neat. Play it from your PC. They got all the places and all the things. I personally have very rarely booted up Game Pass on my computer, and I don't own an Xbox either. So all the ones that I play are either on my computer or on my phone, and my phone is probably the more often used. So any of those stand out for you, Trombone?
Not really, to be honest. I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna keep playing my own games that I've been working through on Game Pass.
Yep. I mean, you
But
always
I
have
am
them. Anytime
excited
Button Bash
that
Brigade
more
comes up,
people-
you've got a list of games that you're ready to list.
I do. I still have like 1 or 2 that I haven't played yet because I want to play it for Button Bash Brigade. But I just need y'all to suggest more Game Pass games.
I know it. Humar Whittill says excited to try Diablo 4. Like I said, I think that's probably the biggest one hitting the airwaves. And this was one that they kind of talked about bringing and then decided to give it a little bit more cushion post the merger and post the Activision thing. So there was a lot going on behind the story of that one, but now it's officially out there. And you'll be able to play it soon. As far as Diablo's release date, when was that? Diablo 4, March 28th. So you got a couple days, a little over a week there, Humor Widow, but that'll be in your Game Pass before much longer. So do let us know if you want to play any of those games, if you plan to play any of those games. But we're going to get into our next segment and everybody's favorite part of the show, Cryptic Critiques. That's right, it's time for Cryptic Critiques, the only place that you can find the game show Cryptic Critiques, where we will be dropping 1-star reviews for arguably 5-star games, or at the very least, much beloved games. And our special guests will see if they can guess them before we get to the third prompt or on the third prompt. We shall see. If you are in the chat, you are welcome to play along, but don't type your guesses in the chat until Trombone has had a chance to guess after reading all 3 prompts. So you can even put in the chat like, prompt 1, I guessed this. Prompt 2, I guessed this. Prompt 3, I guessed this. And then send it after Trombone gets a solid guess in. But we're going to start reading off these prompts. So again, these are 1-star reviews for a arguably 5-star game, or at the very least, a much beloved game. This game, the first prompt is left click.
You made sure this was a game that I actually know, right?
Yes, left click and sometimes have fun. Prompt number 1, the review was left click and sometimes have fun. At least they gave it to him with the sometimes. You know, that's generous. Just based off the first one, do you have any guesses?
I got nothing.
Got nothing off the first guess, all right? Anybody in the chat, go ahead and start typing. Don't send in your guess yet, but write out prompt number 1. Here's what I thought, because here comes prompt number 2. Prompt 2 is... That's not the prompt. That's me clearing my throat.
Like, that's a very interesting prompt.
Well, I say that it wasn't because of the fact that I did do a bit with Gobi Church the other week. So this is not a bit.
Yeah.
The first prompt, left click and sometimes have fun. Prompt number 2, I'll finish writing this review after one more run. Prompt number 1, left click and sometimes have fun. Prompt 2, I'll finish writing this review after one more run. Any guesses off that second prompt, or is it still not quite doing it for you?
I mean, after one more run makes me think of something in the realm of like Vampire Survivors that has like different runs with it.
Solid direction. And you could left click drag your character. Do you want to lock in that guess?
Sure.
Man, it is not Vampire Survivors, but that is a solid guess, solid direction to go. We're going to go with our third and final prompt here. This one, I'm getting word. This is a special one. This is a special prompt. We've not done one of these before. This is a anonymous submitted prompt. This is one that was submitted from a special guest here. A great game until I had to stop playing because it was sucking all of my time and I was getting grumpy that I couldn't freaking beat the stupid final boss. So I would finally have time to get back to pastoring my digital church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. Dang it. Prompt number 3. A great game until I had to stop playing because it was sucking all of my time and I was getting grumpy that I couldn't freaking beat the stupid final boss. So I would finally have time to get back to pastoring my digital church for nerds, geeks, and gamers. Any guesses now?
Slay the Spire.
It is indeed Slay the Spire. I'm still mad about it. I'm still so angry about that game. I have not installed it from my phone yet, but I desperately want it.
Not for all of your salt.
Yes, the anonymous submitter there was obviously myself. Yeah, sounds like a real creep. How dare they? Yeah, I had to put in my own thoughts on this game. I would not give it a 1 star. That would be me being very much dramatic. I think it's a phenomenal game, but
no, you would never be dramatic.
No, that's not me. But I cannot stand the heart. I'm getting so mad about it, and I was like to the point that I was like, I gotta play other games. It's taking up all my time, all my life.
I play this game like every day now, and I have not tried the heart.
Well,
I'm avoiding the heart.
I was trying it pretty much every run. I was hoping for every run to get to the heart, and it felt like I would never get a run that was even close to getting. And then I would get one and I would get like right there, and then I would just ruin everything. So
anytime I got a run that was close, I ended up with time meter, and I'm like, well, all bets are off.
There you go. Yeah, the one picture that I posted in the Discord of the time that I got the closest was pretty much the straw that broke the camel's back. It was like you can directly graph the moment that I lost interest. And it was right whenever I posted that picture, and I was like, maybe not. Maybe this game is not for me, because it was the point that I couldn't handle any longer. So there you go. That is our Cryptic Critiques. Chats in the clap for Trombone getting it. Did anybody get it quicker than Trombone? Did you get off that first or second prompt? First two are really just describing just about any roguelike. So you could really go with any of those for those. But it is addicting, and that one more run thing is very true of Slay the Spire. And those runs in Slay the Spire are so long. It is such a lengthy run. And to sit there for like an hour and a half and then get to the heart and then die and to lose an hour and a half of your time is very frustrating. So I won't harp any further about it because we've got to get to some more news. So let's go to our next segment of the show. That's right, it's time for To the Discord. We got news from you. News from the community submitted in our TWIG section of our Discord server, !Discord in the chat if you aren't there already. And so we have typically got 3 pieces of news from the community that we highlight every single week. If you would like to be considered next week for our To the Discord segment of the show, be sure to submit your news typically on Mondays. I will put out an all call for news that is out there. But if you post right now, as long as it's not older than a week, I'll at least consider it. So with that, tell us our first story for today from yourself.
So I actually posted this one twice, because I posted it when it was announced, and then I posted it because it was actually revealed today. But Lego and Dungeons and Dragons are teaming up, and it's really epic. It's a set that's launching on April 1st, not an April Fool's joke, to celebrate D&D's 50th anniversary. The set includes 3,745 pieces. It's priced at $359.99. And it includes D&D characters, a diverse party of minifigures highlighted by a spectacular brick-built dragon. Early buyers can get a limited Mimic dice box set, which also heralds a Dungeons & Dragons collectible minifigure series coming in September, and is complemented by a special adventure book offering a unique gaming experience. Now, something that I just found out that was not in this article is that they actually did a run-through with a bunch of people who are known for D&D, including Ginny D, who I think someone in Checkpoint had mentioned her to me, and that's how I got into her. And they actually did a run-through of it with the Lego set, and that's going to be released like early April. And that is valid, Carrie. That is a valid comment. So yeah, I'm very excited about this. I definitely will not have the money for it, but I saw the pictures of it. Even like the roof comes off, so you have more space to move the figures inside. And I think it's really cool that this isn't just a one-time thing, and that they're really making sure to make the most out of this and extend it through with the minifigures and the full adventure.
Yeah, this is a whole thing and a half. I mean, this is a big deal. And there's a lot of minifigs in this. Like, it's not just like there's a couple characters. They went for a full party and enemies and tons of monsters. It's not pictured, but there's also a gelatinous cube. I don't know if we mentioned that. The Mimic, unfortunately, is only like a limited item, so I'm stressed about that. I know that I don't live anywhere near a Lego store, so it's like I'm not getting the Mimic, which is disappointing for me because there's no way I'll be able to get that early buy from them. And honestly, I also don't know if I'll be able to afford this because it's just insanely expensive. But I did go and look.
$1,000 pieces.
Animal Crossing, right? Animal Crossing is almost 400 pieces, and this was $40. So all things considered, it is literally 10 times the price. No, 10 times the pieces, and not quite 10 times the price. So you're getting a discount. You're getting a little discount if you go with Dungeons and Dragons. Who wouldn't want the discount? And yeah, I do think it's going to be tough to say no to this one and to see it and to just be like, I can't, I'm sorry. But it's going to have to be for me because I doubt we'll be able to afford it. But maybe we'll find out. Maybe as a birthday gift, I'll see if I can beg and plead to my family because my birthday is not too far after that. But We'll see. Logan will not do it. That's for sure. she will say, no, you're not getting that atrocious thing. Please stop. But I do think there are even options within it. I think I read that like, not only can you take the roof off of things, but you can also reconfigure things to make like a castle, a town, and different sets for play. So it's going to be so cool. Yeah. That's good to know, Hunter Fan Mom. I'll keep it in mind, but like I said, I doubt my wife will let me do that for this one, but I am super jealous of everyone that will get it, that does have that fun money to be able to get this. I'll see if I can zoom in for just a second so you can see that beholder back there. You can see him peeking amongst the Pokemon. There's a lot to look at. There's a Displacer Beast there on the top of the castle as well. So this is really fun and super neat. And I just hope they do come out with more kits that are cheaper, that are things that I'll be able to afford within the realm of reason, but who could say? With that, do let us know in the comments. Are you going to be getting this? Because if you are, please stream it so that I can watch it. I want to watch you build this thing. Please, please. Yeah, I don't know. I need it. We're going to get into our next one. This one was submitted by Maleficent. Amazon is teaming up with YouTube sensation Mr. Beast, real name Jimmy Donaldson, to launch Beast Games, a reality competition series on Prime Video featuring a groundbreaking $5 million cash prize for a single winner among 1,000 contestants. That's so many D&D Lego sets. While details remain sparse, including the release date, the scale of the competition is unprecedented. Mr. Beast, known for his high-stakes challenges and philanthropic giveaways on YouTube, where he boasts over 245 million subscribers, aims to translate his unique content style to television. This venture, potentially valued around $100 million, marks a significant crossover attempt for digital creators in the mainstream media. Mr. Beast's vision for Beast Games is not just to entertain, but to showcase the potential of YouTubers and digital creators to thrive across various platforms, with Amazon granting him the creative control to pursue this ambitious project. We'll see. We'll see where this one goes. Real ones remember YouTube Red. And we all know how that went. We'll see if Amazon money is better than Google money, but YouTube Red died on the vine pretty intensely. And it was a bummer because as somebody that enjoyed the YouTube Red shows, maybe they just took too big of a gamble. It was too many creators, whereas maybe old Jimmy can do it. But I'm kind of like, we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I hope that it goes okay. I can honestly look at you and say that I have never watched a Mr. Beast video. Not my demographic, not my thing, but I have mad respect for him and I appreciate the hustle. I have listened to many podcasts he's been featured on, but never actually watched his content. So we'll see. Maybe this will be the thing that I'll check out, or maybe I'll just keep my eyes on the prize and see how things pan out with it. Any thoughts from you, Trombone, or the chat?
Not really. I've seen like maybe one or two Mr. Beast videos when they like partnered with another channel that I watched, and besides that, that's about it. I don't really have anything to say. Always interesting when there's collaboration going on and to see, when it becomes too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yeah, that'll be the question. And listen, Amazon, if you want to give Checkpoint Church $100 million to produce some content, I'll do it. I'll do that. So don't feel like I'm saying no here. I'm saying an enthusiastic yes. Like I will 100% make a show for you if you'll throw $100 million my way, and we can do some cool stuff with that. But it had to be Jimmy. It had to be Mr. Beast. And there's no doubt that he is the sensation that he is. And if anybody can make it work, hopefully it'll be him and can prove some of the evidence that digital creators are good creators and capable of doing the primetime thing. But then it's also kind of funny to think of Prime Video as the primetime thing. So yeah, we'll see where this one continues to pan out, and I look forward to hearing more about it. But with that, let's take on our last news story of the night. Trombone.
So this is from Gobi Church. Takura Mizobi, the CEO and creator of Power World, in a Bloomberg interview, shared insights into the game's massive success and its impact on Pocket Pair, the Tokyo-based studio behind the game. Founded in 2015, Pocket Pair, with its 55-person team, has been overwhelmed by the success of Power World, which drew over 25 million players in its first month, generating tens of billions of yen in profit from a development budget of under 1 billion yen, which is $6.7 billion. And despite the financial boon, Mizobi is committed to keeping the studio small and independent, focusing on creating multiple small games rather than expanding significantly or pursuing big budget projects. He emphasizes staying true to the studio's roots, aiming to innovate within the gaming industry without the pressures of going public or scaling up dramatically. Mizobi's approach highlights dedication to creativity and game design over corporate expansion, pointing to a future of engaging smaller-scale projects from Pocket Pair. I personally think I don't really care much about Hell World. It's not really my game, but I appreciate that dedication to avoiding corporate expansion and it having intentionally smaller scale, well done project.
Mm-hmm. I think especially in the wake of like layoff after layoff after layoff after layoff, it just feels like I feel like it would be unwise if they made any decision other than this one. Like it's time to hone things in, to celebrate the success you've had, to do what you can when you can with what you got. But it does not sound like it is the time to go C-suite. It is not the time to lift yourself up any higher than you ought because people are being chopped off the vine left and right. And so I think this is hopefully a prudent decision, even more than like we're just kind of scared of growing decision. I think he's focusing not just on staying true, but also on like, this is clearly the right thing to do in the current environment of gaming. So that's my guess as far as why he's making this decision. And I imagine there might be something to that, but I think this is a great perspective. And I'm glad that amidst all the CEO's controversial takes on AI that has made people so mad, that Mizobi can have a positive take here on leadership and game development in the industry. Humar Whittill says, good for them. Glad they are not ballooning just to lay people off later. Exactly. Except I was kind of thinking the other way around, but same kind of concept. And yes, go be church. Welcome in. There's a way, even though you can't hear me. But yeah, let us know your thoughts on this. If you have anything additional to add as far as the Pal World situation, but we will get into our next segment of the show and my personal favorite.
At this point in nerd history.
That's right. It's at this point in nerd history where we go back in time and space to March 19th throughout time. What games came out, what movies, what TV shows, and any random facts that we may have to throw in there as well. And so we'll get into what are these things that came out on March 19th throughout time and space. Take it away.
So in 2021, Hades and Cozy Grove came out. In 2020, Doom Eternal. In 2014, 2048. In 2003, Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire was released in North America for the Game Boy Advance. In 1994, Super Metroid was released in Japan for the Super Famicom. I have two things to say about this. One, I totally did not realize that's when 2048 came out, and I used to play that all the time, and various versions of it, including the Doctor Who version of it.
Mm-hmm.
Because Pokemon Ruby was my favorite game for the longest time until it was left in my brother's pocket. It was his game, and it went through the washer and did not survive it.
It hurts.
And so I was never able to finish Ruby. But I wanted to mention that. I will let you take away TV.
Yeah, well, I'll also say this is a phenomenal day for games. There's not a single game there that I consider to be not amazing. Hades, like, I think it won Game of the Year that year, didn't it? Or at least it was in the running for 2021 Game of the Year. So it's like Hades, a phenomenal game, a phenomenal experience. People can't wait for Hades 2 this year. Cozy Grove, if you've never played that one, Trombone, you should play Cozy Grove. You would totally enjoy that game. Very zen, cozy-esque experience where similar to Spirited Away, gosh. What's Spiritfarer? Similar to Spiritfarer in the kind of mood. It's like Animal Crossing meets Spiritfarer. 2020 Doom Eternal. We all remember the Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing back-to-back release, one day after the other. That was always a fun one. I was also obsessed with 2048, and so excited to see that one come out. My favorite Pokemon is Emerald or Fire Red or Arceus, depending on when you're asking me. So those are my three favorites. So Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald is definitely some of the best stuff out there. And Super Metroid. I mean, come on. Like one of the most famous games of all time. And a real highlight for the Super Nintendo or Super Famicom, depending on where you're from. It looks like Humor Whittill says, still need to play Hades. Sunil is backing you up on Ruby, Sapphire, love. And Hades is so much fun with such amazing characters, and Legends Arceus was so good. Agreed. Hoenn is the best region. I don't know. I really like a lot of regions. I'm partial, although they aren't my favorite games. I really enjoyed the Sun and Moon region. I liked the kind of Hawaiian vibe of those. That was very fun. So it's good stuff. I like them all, but I do think Emerald is up there with some of my favorite games of all time. With that, let's get into some TV. These are two that if you know, you know. If you don't know, then just be prepared to hear things that make no sense. In 1987, on June 19th, that is whenever televangelist Jim Bakker resigned from PTL due to a scandal involving Jessica Hahn. So Jim Bakker is back post all of that mess today, but this is the infamous day where all of that wrapped up. 10 years prior, 1977, the last episode of The Mary Tyler Moore Show aired. So I doubt many of the people in the chat know Mary Tyler Moore or Mary Tyler Moore Show, but quite a classic, quite a legend, and the end of an era of television for sure. So let us know there if you are particularly struck with either one of those. I'll always take a time to bring up Jim Bakker and to talk some mess about him. That's my joy, to bring down any televangelist that I can. That's my goal. Movies that came out on this day throughout time and space. For pretty good movies here. 2010, Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I have honestly never seen that one or read the books. It was after my time, but neat one nonetheless to see pop up. 2004, we had a double feature here. Dawn of the Dead aired in 2004 on this day. The same day, interestingly, as Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, another classic. And then in 1999, the movie True Crime aired. With that, take it away with random facts for us.
So I actually shared this random fact with my students today because I needed something to distract them for a moment, and it was successful. But in 1994, the largest omelet in history was made with 160,000 eggs in Yokohama, Japan.
That's so
And
many eggs.
in 1918, U.S. Congress approved daylight saving time, unfortunately.
Unfortunate. Now, Sneaky's in the chat. I don't think Sneaky even knows what that is. I don't think Sneaky's ever heard of daylight saving time. Completely unaware.
No.
Those Arizona people just don't even know what's going on there. I agree with Rev Bailey there. I think we can for sure beat 160,000. Like, look, if eggs will just go down a little bit in price, since right now they're still pretty insane, then I'm all for it. Let's make that giant omelet. What I want to know is how'd they flip it? What kind of omelet are we talking about here? Are we talking about the taco style flip flop omelet? Like how'd they do that part of it? That's the big question. Yeah, Sneaky, I knew you'd never heard of it. It's probably just a weird word. My yoke is easy, my burden is light, 100%. This burden definitely not light. And I don't know if they made the yoke over easy or so. Fun facts there from the world of games, movies, television, and then just some random ones thrown in there as well. Nobody has slept well since 1918, apparently, and that's just the way that we do it. All right, well, with that, we're going to move into, I believe, our final or penultimate segment of the show. That's right, it's upcoming releases. We used to do literally every single movie, game, TV show, comic, and piece of tech that was coming out in the next week. But instead, in lieu of time and also the fact that nobody probably can remember all of those things, we each just pick 3 things that we're kind of paying attention to right now that is coming out in the next week. It looks like Humar Whittill has said X-Men, so that's not my thing, but I remember the show well enough, and I could have picked that one, but instead I actually went for 3 games this time. Hi, Lizzie, welcome in. So we will go back and forth, Trombone, if that's good for you. I'll do one, you do one. I'll do one, you do one. I'll do one. You close us out. Cool? Sound like a plan? Awesome. All right, so my first one,
I don't have one.
Oh, you don't have any?
I don't have any.
Oh, that's fine.
My life has been too chaotic lately for me to come up and keep in tune with what's coming up.
That's okay. That's understandable. You can take Humar Whittill's and you can say X-Men 97. X-Men 97. X-Men 90 something, which is coming out officially. And so that's exciting and it should be a fun thing to see again and see what they're able to do with this kind of revisioning and rebirth. It is 97. Yes. Oh, I love it whenever I get it right. That makes me real happy. So that should be a good one.
Yes,
You can also talk about
so
Stardew Valley.
X-Men 97.
Thank you.
Much hype.
Yes, very prepared for that and interested in that, as I can tell. Stardew Valley also 1.6 dropped today, so that's kind of a thing you could be excited for a couple hours ago. Dragon's Dogma was actually my first one. Dragon's Dogma 2 is Capcom's latest epic RPG series, which is actually being built in the RE engine, which is why I'm so fascinated about it. If you haven't seen Character Creator from the early access, people are spending hours on end in Character Creator for Dragon's Dogma, and it's just hilarious. I don't know if I'll end up playing this one. If it goes as big as BG3, absolutely, I'll end up playing it because nobody would stop talking about Baldur's Gate. So if this is going to be that way, then great, I'll definitely play it. But otherwise, I'll be interested in seeing some people stream it and see what I actually think of playing it. A game that I know that I will be playing, probably with my daughter, is Princess Peach Showtime. I love the opportunity to have a Princess Peach game as the main character. She's kind of taking on a little bit of a Kirby persona in the sense that she is absorbing characters and putting on costumes. It's called Showtime, so I'm assuming it's like a stage play, and they're even trying to save the play after the Grape and the Sour Bunch disrupt a show at the Sparkle Theater. So we'll see. We'll see how this one ends up going in the long run, but I'm curious to play it and to play it with my daughter. It'll be a great family game, even if it isn't a great game in and of itself. Let's see. Humor Widow says, I would love to play Dragon's Dogma, but not sure I will get there with other games. That's kind of how I feel. It has to be beloved. If it does not pop off, I will not be playing Dragon's Dogma. And then, in a weird way, the last one is not actually a game that I'm excited for, but it's a game that I'm excited a sequel is coming out for it because it's giving me a reason to play the prequel. Not the prequel, but the predecessor. So Ender Magnolia, Bloom in the Mist is coming out this week. The synopsis of it is, when mystical toxins infect the minds of humans and artificial life forms, the land of fumes erupts into a mass exodus. Guide Lilac, an attuner capable of purifying those around her, on a quest to cleanse evil from the blighted domain. Now, this is a sequel to the game Ender Lilies, which is a game that I have never played, but always had on my backlog. So maybe I'll bump it up the list since it was clearly good enough to warrant a sequel and one that has gotten a little bit of media attention. So I'm here for it and curious about it. Anything else in the chat? I see Sugar Haiku is excited for Princess Peach as well. Anything from you, Trombone, on those?
Woo, much hype.
Much hype, excited about that. X-Men 97. Can't wait for it. I know. Big stuff happening there. And I do see that you said nobody will stop talking about Baldur's Gate, and I mean Mayfly. I did certainly hear a lot about it from Mayfly, but it was everywhere. I mean, it was a phenomenon. I will really never forget the just kind of sweeping nature of that game. And I mean, it was on every podcast. It was on every YouTube channel. It was every show that I watched. Everybody talked about BG3. And so I had no choice but to play that one. So that was out of my control as far as those things are concerned. But with that, we're going to get into our final segment of the show. Meme of the week. That's right, it's time for our meme of the week. Our meme of the week this time goes to Mayfly, who went on a absolute binge of memes and posted so many things. There's really no way she couldn't have gotten it. And this one also was attributed to me, which I loathe that fact. I think I do a wonderful job with playing new games and my backlog, but hey, we'll show it off nonetheless. So here is a classic meme format of the fella throwing the ball and then somebody hugging them from behind there. So it says a new game, and instead of a new game, you're being creeped upon by the 93 other games that you still need to finish. This was Big Mood, and as kind of Humar Whitill has kind of alluded to several times in the chat tonight, there's just so many games to play. How can we know which games we're going to get into? That's our meme. If you would like to be considered for our meme of the week next week, then be sure to go to our Memes and Goofs channel of our Discord, our final Discord shout out of the stream, I think, !Discord in the chat. And you can be sure to hang out in that spot, post memes. I typically go through the past week and find the one that has had the most reactions and post that. So this is the one that took off this time. Any thoughts on this, Trombones? Considering that you did not have anything coming up in the next week, I have a feeling you get it.
I get it. I actually am really proud of myself. I actually took that and remixed it to attack Mayfly instead and had it specifically, instead of all of the games, just BG3.
Yes. Yep. It's pretty much just BG3 that consumes Mayfly's life. So very true.
She has like one or two other ones, but mostly BG3.
I love it. Folks, that is where we're actually going to be ending our show.
This has been TWIG, your weekly geekly, family-friendly news show, delivered live on twitch.tv/checkpointchurchy tweet. About keeping your family connected to the world of nerd news. If you've watched this far, then you likely enjoyed this one. Remember to give us a 5 stars on your podcast app, click that like button, and recommend the show to your favorite nerds.
Folks, as always, we want to give a special shout out and a thanks for our subscribers, those that are keeping this channel and this community afloat with their support here on Twitch by subscribing. We're shout out to Buish, Deacon Shannon LS, Elias Raven, Hman 1009, Jate Live, Maybe 30 Bats, Mindful Marlena, Nerd Pastor Nate, Perspective, Pineapple Pope 4, Rain plus Cat, Sneaky Pig 633, Splash Force Gaming 2, Strange Dun, Sugar Haiku, The Toric, I think, Tina Christina P, Trombone Dalek, Twyla 27, Wise and Lemur, Zando Calrissian, X Mayfly, Yakim 4752. And of course, all of you watching right now, all of you that hang out and follow this channel, that hang out with us in Discord, follow us over on YouTube, all of you, we are thankful for your support of this space and of this awesome opportunity that we have here at Checkpoint Church to reach nerds, geeks, and gamers with the love of Christ. Is there TWIG next week? Yes, there will be TWIG next week. I think that will be pretty good until General Conference comes. If you want to talk about more about what that is, then I'll let you know in the Discord hangout after this. But with that, we're going to be ending this stream with our 3 things that we believe to be true about every single one of you out there, whether you believe in God, don't believe in God, go to church, don't go to church, hate God, hate church. We still believe these 3 things to be true about every single one of you out there. Number 1, that God loves you, like really, really loves you. Number 2, we love you. We want community with you. That's what we're doing here. And number 3, that you, yes, you matter. You are a person of sacred worth. The world is a better place. Why? Because you are in it. Folks, with that, until the next time that I see ya, whether it be right now over in our Discord server, whether it be next week for another episode of TWIG, another one of our streams, or Sunday for our nerdy sermon over on YouTube, I look forward to seeing you then. All right, until next time, bye-bye!